Hi! During the time when I was making the T2Pro video, the shell accessory was not fitting in a shipment, so I couldn't personally demonstrate it, but now it's here, so let's take a look at it. Finally, we can make an unboxing on that accessory as well. This is the accessory that I also include in the price if you buy it through me. It's only included through me. No matter if you buy it from somewhere else, they're not gonna include this accessory in the price. You have to pay additional, or they don't even have it. In my case, you will have the accessory. This is the accessory that enables you to install it and mount it on a gun or airsoft, which is going to give you a huge advantage. So let's see what's inside. You have here this USB-C U adapter. It's curving it back, I guess, for the adapter itself. The keys for the screws in it. And here I have the accessory itself. Let's cut this open. Nice. Interesting. So, I thought I have a missing screw, but that screw is right here inside the box. First, then I'm going to disassemble this. First we have to loosen up these screws of the door of the shell. Make sure you don't lose them because you don't have spare. So you take out this door, and then we have there an inner part. Let's see, the inner screws, I don't know if you can see, are larger. This is the panel that will hold the T2Pro inside the case to be tight. I don't think it can be a difficult process to anyone. I hear some people said that taking out from the case after installing, it's difficult or impossible. Well, let's see. We're going to test it because I don't think it's more difficult to take it out than put it in. First you have to place the camera inside. Make sure that the lens is not in the hole. So maybe that's the problem. Took me like a minute to realize that the lens of the T2Pro is not fitting through of the hole of this case, because this model is a pre-production model. It was designed to the T2 Surge, which is working perfectly fine with the T2 Surge and all the T2 models except the T2Pro, because that's one of the newest model. The newer cases are designed for the T2 Pro as well, so all the models are fitting. But if you accidentally receive an older production model, I have a very short, less than 10-minute solution to fix it. Basically, I'm going to remove about 1 mm from the inner side of the hole, and the T2 Pro is going to fit perfectly fine. So if this happens by accident, you don't need to call InfiRay, you don't need to send messages and complaining all the time. That would take you much more time. Anyway, I include the shell for free in my promotion. So just do this and all be okay. So what I did here is, using any drill bit, I wrapped a metal sandpaper 120 grit over any kind of drill bit, doesn't matter which one. Be careful not to scratch the rest of the pot, and work your way to create that desired 1 mm. So as you can see, I was able to work my way through nice and without damaging the case. Now the T2Pro as well falls in it perfectly. Now I just have to clean up this, make sure you wash it or clean this so don't leave any powder of the metal around, because it's conductive, and if it gets into the USB port of the camera itself, it's not gonna be a nice thing. Make sure you give it a good cleaning. I'm also going to do a polishing on this inner side. I want to make sure that it's not gonna scratch the camera lens, the paint on the camera lens. What I'm going to do is wrapping some textile around this, applying some polishing paste, and make my work around again. Using this extremely cheap polishing goo. It's not gonna be perfect. Maybe you have at home way better solution or way better equipment, a CNC machine and stuff like that, Dremel tool or something, that will serve as well. And nicely polishing up the... I don't know if you can see it inside. It's nice and shiny, absolutely no scratches inside. This will make sure that the lens is not gonna be damaged. So let's clean this mess up. So now that it's done and all cleaned up, basically the whole process was taking less than 10 minutes. So it's not damaging at all the casing. You are just slightly increasing the hole where the lens going through. So the lens of the T2Pro will fit perfectly and without problems. Mainly every household have this accessories and like a drill machine or something you can use to make the polishing, in case if it happens, but usually you will receive the latest generation of this, which is exactly the same, just the hole is slightly bigger, that's all. So let's see, let's assemble this and let's see what else we can do with this. This is the holder that you will also get, because you get the case from me as a free. This normally would be, I think, around $90 accessories, but because of the discount to my channel, if you buy a T2Pro or a T2 Search, you will get this as well for free. Normally you get this for free, but you get additionally this super accessory for that as well. So in order to install the phone holder part on the shell itself, you need to disassemble the included holder. Because in the holder you have the front part, this part where it holds the camera, and this part that holds the smartphone, basically the smartphone. But because I'm going to use a tiny little smartphone, this tiny little size will only fit in here, because if I close this, even in the maximum length, this phone is just smaller than the smallest option on the normal phone holder part, but it enters perfectly fine to the camera part. So this is a normal size of phone, and this is the phone I'm going to use for that purpose, to make the whole setup very small. So first, let's take this apart. First, best to remove the holder part, the handle part, sorry. And then choose one of the included holder. You have one screw here and another screw there. You don't need to completely disassemble, so basically if you just need the front part, you disassemble you take out the front part, the part you need basically. So it's like, just take it down. This part I'm not gonna need for now. I can remove the laser as well, because the laser can go on top of the shell. Just slide up the laser, and I have left with this camera holding part. And the way to install it on the shell, when everything is installed inside the shell, this is going to be closed, and as you can see there is a notch, and there is also a notch inside. This part goes in here, so it's just like that. It's not gonna twist, because that notch is gonna preventing it to turn. And when you put the screw and tie it, it's absolutely stable, even recoil proof. So and you just take out this tiny little metal piece that is the tripod mount adapter, basically. Now, installing the camera. That's very easy and very simple. All you have to do is take the T2Pro or T2 Search, choose your model, just place it in, make sure the lens comes out on that hole. Then, when it's installed, you will see here the clearance. There's a hole for the USB-C, camera is in there, but it's not fixed yet, it's not tight yet. Now then, you have this part. There is a little sponge on it to protect the camera, to don't apply excessive force or don't damage it. So they thought about everything. This just drops in there, not moving anywhere else, it drops exactly where it should be, so it's very simple to install. Now then, just tighten these screws. Make sure it's tight well so that the camera will not move. The camera has become one with the shell itself. Now, installing the cable is also very simple. You just take the cable, push it through the hole to the outside, then take the elbow adapter. The male part goes into the female part, becomes like this, and the rest. And then you just push it back, and in the process you also connect it to the USB plug hanging out from the camera itself. And the camera, basically the cable is installed. Now, to reduce the cable length, you can just wind up the cable a little and make sure to have enough cable outside. So when you close the lid, see, it goes into that notch, the cable. You can close the lid. With the remaining hanging cable, you want that to leave outside. There we can be a little more than this. No matter what, you can easily close it anyway. So I have a small piece of cable hanging out, being approximately going to be enough for the phone, hopefully. I'm gonna let a little more cable hanging out, just in case. But it's up to you, depending on your phone size. You can experiment with that to see which cable length fits for you, but you can hide the excessive cable. Just tighten up the screws. Should be easy and without hassle and without problems. There was some people who said they could install it, but they were unable to take it apart. How? You just have to reverse the process. Okay. That goes nicely in there, using the same screw that came out from the holder itself. And this will not move anywhere. It's very stable, very well built. It's definitely going to resist recoil as well, so there's no problem. Now, let's install the phone and see how it's gonna look like. A Unihertz Jelly 2 phone. Now I'm going to release this as far as I can. Probably I don't even need all the way. And just place the phone here. If you want, you can add some extra padding behind it, or I don't know, front of it if you don't want to damage. Make sure you don't tie the mount over the buttons itself. You can nicely, strongly tie this up. Yeah, I think it's nicely sitting there without any problem. Okay. And it's now already a much smaller assembly than if you would use a larger phone. This phone is also Android 11, so it's with 6GB RAM and the 20GB storage, just like any phone. Snappy, fast, but the size is with a 3-inch screen. So my God, you can definitely use this for your purpose. You're not gonna lose, because a bigger phone is wobbling, it's heavy. This is not gonna be heavy, so it's gonna be optimal. So it's already prompting me to use the infrared software. Let's connect it. Can you see? Voila, there we go. All I have to do is adjust the focus point. T2Pro brings everything much closer, so it's not so easy to demonstrate on a table. But as you can see, the complete thing, and it's very strong. I can shake it, no problem. It's not falling out or not losing the phone at all. You can add extra measures to secure the phone with the thing, but the whole thing is tiny little. In a follow-up video, I'm going to try to get someone that has an airsoft equipment, and I'm going to try to demonstrate this complete assembly installed on an airsoft. Also, let's not forget about that the laser can also be installed on top of the shell itself. All you need to do is just tighten the screws, and there you have this futuristic looking handy little kit. It's a little over $300. You can get this complete set, of course without the phone, and you can experiment yourself. I think it's an extremely nice budget hunting option if you just want to test thermals. Maybe in the future you plan to buy something more serious, like a thermal scope or something. Those are cost like $3,000–4,000. This is a little more than $300. I think this can get you very far. Plus the phone is an additional $200 on AliExpress. I'm also going to leave the link down in the comment section, in the description section. You can see and test it yourself. This is the smallest smartphone on the world, and the best smartphone on the world, basically, in this size. It's like there is no other mobile phone on this planet that can beat at this size these specifications. So see you in the next one, and I hope I'm going to be able to present you a video testing this whole kit.